All right, let's say hello now to a man who will be competing on July 10th in Las Vegas. Highly anticipated trilogy fight against Conor McGregor, main event, T-Mobile capacity crowd. You know him, El Diamante himself, the one and only Dustin Poirier, who, of course, has been in the news as of late. Dustin, good to talk to you. How are you?
Good man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. All right, so there's a lot to discuss. The fight is a done deal. We know it's going down July 10th. I'm just curious, leading into your last fight, which happened in January, there was a lot of drama. Are you fighting this guy? Are you fighting that guy? Contract this guy. This time around, to make the trilogy, it was very clear he wanted it. It seemed like you wanted it as well. Was it a little less drama filled?
Yeah, I think we kind of knew. I mean, I felt like I knew immediately after that fight. We're 1-1. A guy like Connor wants to try to get the win back. It's a big fight. I thought that this is a direction the UFC would go and Connor would want to go. So it kind of just came together like I thought it would.
When they announced that on May 15th, Charles Oliveira would be fighting Michael Chandler for the vacant title, the entire MMA community was very upset on your behalf. They felt like you were wronged here. They felt like you should have been fighting for a title. Could you tell us from your perspective, how did that all go down? Did they come to you first and offer you this before the Conor fight?
Yeah, they offered me Charles Oliveira May 15th in Houston.
And you said you'd rather the Conor fight?
Yeah, I just feel like planning out my career, this trilogy means a lot to me personally, but also to mixed martial arts, I feel. And, my personal goal is to beat Connor again. And then I'm still the number one contender, fight for the championship, wrap gold around my waist, you know, just a beautiful story. And like I've always said, I'm not scared to take different routes or go through the grind. It's just what it is, and it's business. And that's the decisions I've made, and I stand by them. And I'm excited about the future, man.
And so, is there any part of you that was hoping once Khabib made his decision official, once the UFC accepted it, that they would give you the title? Because I think you alluded to that, right? Like you said that you felt like you were the lightweight champion after the Conor fight. So was that something that you were hoping for and maybe disappointed that didn't happen?
I say stuff to get people going and just to have fun. But at the end of the day, I can't say that I'm the lightweight champion right now. Am I the number one guy? Is there not a champion in the division? Yes. Do I feel like I'm the best in the world at 155 pounds? Yeah. But I would never want to be handed something that I didn't earn. And I know you can go back to my first fight in the UFC and say, well, I did pay my dues and I have fought the best. And maybe I did earn the position I'm in, but I'm not the world champion. I have to beat the champion to be the world champion. So I would never want them to hand me something. I don't want something I didn't earn. And I would rather the title be vacant and up for grabs. I wouldn't want to be handed a belt.
Okay. And you said just moments ago, this fight is really important to you. It's important to mixed martial arts. You said it means a lot to me. Why? Why does it mean so much to you?
Just the growth through my mixed martial arts journey and my life, fighting Conor that first time when I was a little bit more heated in the moment and cared too much and thought and overread and overthought everything, to come back and then beat the guy on a big stage. I feel like we owe it to each other. We owe it to each other to go in there one more time at both of our best and see what happens and see who the better fighter is and see who can execute the game plan and get their hand raised. We owe it to each other. And that's just what I believe. And it's part of my career. And it's going to, at the end of this journey, that's going to be a huge deal.
Has life dramatically changed since you beat him in January? Can you say that? Is that a fair thing to say or not so much?
It's crazy because no, it's things have changed for sure. Um, just, I mean, the celebrity and power that Connor has, I don't know if people, I mean, a lot of people do realize that, but you go out there and you knock a guy out like that, it's like I've been fighting for 14 years. And then overnight you have one performance like that and everything changes. Things start to line up. Opportunities are more open. And, my phone hasn't stopped ringing. It's been a whirlwind since January 24th. It's been, opportunity after opportunity, offer after offer. It's just things did change for sure, business wise.
Okay. And in a good way, like this is all good. I mean, it's like a good problem to have.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you want those things, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You want those.
So one of the themes going into the second fight was the relationship between you two. It seemed like you guys, kumbaya, you guys were, talking about charities and all this stuff, shaking hands, exchanging gifts. Correct me if I'm wrong. It feels like the vibe has changed a little bit. And I'll ask you about your tweet talking about the charity and at the time the lack of donation. Could you tell us your side of the story? I haven't heard it in any kind of media. What happened there? Because I think you said that you reached out a couple of times, or there was no response after the fight about the donation that he pledged to the Good Fight Foundation, the 500,000. What happened from your perspective?
We are past that, and I don't want to keep the whole thing, like with my tweet. After I said that, like my apology was more it was for me, because I felt like I attached my foundation, something me and my wife have worked so hard to get where it's at, to something negative. I don't want that cloud hanging above it. And I attached it to negativity because of a personal thing going on. And when I'm the president of the foundation and the voice of it, I can't do those type of things. Hindsight's 2020. So looking back on it, I'm like, damn, but that's one of the things in my career and in life. When I make mistakes, I can own up to them and learn and try to be more mature and grow. And that's what life's about. And that's what fighting's about. But looking back on it, I felt bad for attaching my charity to a negative energy like that. And I shouldn't have done that. But, I still stand by, I didn't say anything untrue. You know what I mean? Like, I still stand by everything that happened. Since then, Conor has donated $500,000 to the Boys and Girls Club of Acadiana. And that's so incredible, man, because at the end of the day, helping the community, helping people in need, it was the mission and goal from the jump. When I used to auction eBay stuff before I had the foundation, whenever we used to do small things in the community, it's always been the goal. So at the end of the day, charity wins. You know what I mean? It's mission accomplished. I see a lot of people that want to attach negativity and say that was a slap in the face or this and that stuff when it comes to the donation. Conor didn't donate it to my charity, but it's not my money. It's the people's money. I don't know why people think that or where they get that from, but charity wins at the end of the day. So it's great. I'm very thankful. And it wasn't a slap in the face. It was a high five because the people in the community are going to win. There's a great organization. They do big things and it's going to help a lot of kids out.
I saw on the Instagram page of that Boys and Girls Club, which is based, is that part of Lafayette Arcade? How do you pronounce it? Acadiana?
Acadiana.
Yeah,
so that's like, so Boys and Girls Clubs of Acadiana, I believe they have 6 locations. Okay. So that's like, Acadiana is the Cajun country of Louisiana, Lafayette.
More to that point, I just want to say I noticed that you and the Good Fight Foundation liked the post, so it didn't seem like you were upset about it or anything like that. I saw that you liked it on Instagram, and I have also seen people say like, oh, he didn't donate to Dustin, but you feel like this is mission accomplished. Like you don't care where the money went, is what you're saying. You're just happy that he followed through on his pledge.
Right. As long as it goes to good, and that's a great organization. They do big things. Actually, for the Conor fight, we teamed up with them and, used my platform building up to that fight to raise money for the same exact Boys and Girls Club of Acadiana for their Project Learn initiative. So we just teamed up with them and we believe in what they're doing. So it's great. No, it's a win for charity. It's a win for the good fight. Not so much my foundation, but just in general, we're all fighting the good fight. And that's where the money goes to. It's not my money. It's the people's money. And as long as it goes there, I know they're going to do great things with it. Families are going to benefit. Children are going to benefit, and everybody wins. So it's great.
You did talk about some big plans that you had for the money leading up to the second fight. How does this change those plans?
We still have some opportunities there. A really good buddy of mine offered some land for us to, in the future, put together a gym. And, that's still something I want to do with my foundation when the time's right and when things work out. But right now we're going to keep pushing forward. for this next fight with Conor, we teamed up with Justin Wren again with Fight for the Forgotten. Also, Manny Pacquiao is joining in with the Pac-Man Foundation, and we're going to do big things back in Uganda where we raised a bunch of money during the Khabib build-up and bought land and water wells there. We're going to go back and start building housing. So I'm excited about that. And that's all I want to do, man, is just keep spreading the good and using my platform. And we are doing that.
After the initial tweet came out, he said that he was going to move on from the fight. And even Dana White admitted recently after the fight was made official that it looked like the fight was on shaky ground for a second. From your perspective, was it ever in jeopardy?
I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was.
Were you worried about that?
I mean, if it fell apart, it kind of sucks because, like I said, I think this means a lot. But at the end of the day, I'm still the number one contender.
Okay.
So, yeah, it would have sucked if it did fall apart. But, I mean, it's out of my hands.
So last thing on all of this, if you could do it again, you wouldn't have put that out there? You regret doing that?
Yeah, I still, like I said, I still stand behind everything.
Yeah.
I would never make something up that wasn't true. But casting a negative light on my foundation or just attaching it to something negative, personally, those opinions, like, it just wasn't good looking back. As the voice of a foundation, I just, feel like it wasn't good.
Do you suspect that the buildup now to this fight, as we get a little closer, obviously it's still, 2.5 months away. Do you suspect that it will be different this time, that it will be a little more like the first fight?
It seems that way. We'll see what happens.
Do you welcome that?
Dude, I welcome everything. I welcome the good, the bad. I'm just a different person and I'm okay with it. It's out of my control. That's what I've learned over those years is like, I can control what I can and what I can't. So there's no reason to really stress about those things. When it's all said and done, we're going to get locked in a cage for 25 minutes. The better man's going to get his hand raised and then on to the next thing. So, and honestly, dude, that's the only part about fighting. I just feel like even talking about this stuff over the years and watching the fans' reactions, the only thing I love about the fight game anymore is the fight itself. Cause I feel like that's the only real part of it. Mm-hmm. Everything else is a fashion show. It's a facade. It's opinions. It's painting any picture you want for the masses to believe. And it's all fake. A lot of it's fake. And, but the beautiful thing is the fight is still real. And that's what I love. So.
You have said recently that you kind of threw it out 170. You said we did 145, 155, 170. Why did you throw that out there? Why was that of interest?
Look at these things, Ariel.
How much you weigh right now?
Does that answer the question?
It does. It does.
I was 178.
Okay. So do you think inevitably?
I started like a pre-camp. I would say, dude, the level of these fights and the level that I push my body to at the end of training camp, the shape I show up in to fights now is I have to get in shape before I go to South Florida to get in shape. You know what I mean? Like I have to train before the training starts. And I'm always training year round, but like recently I started dieting before I even leave for training camp just to get a step ahead. Next week I'm heading out to South Florida and I'm going to stay there until the fight.
Wow.
So I'm just prepping my body.
Is that earlier than usual, or is that around the same time as usual that you'd go out there?
It may be like I would say a week or so earlier, but I have done longer camps. I did a 12-week camp when I was going to fight Anthony Pettis. But eight weeks is about the average. And I think this one will be like 9.5. So perfect time,
Do you think it's inevitable before your career is done that you will be a welterweight? Is that something you want?
I mean, honestly, knowing the landscape of the guys, being around them so long and training with welterweights, I know how big these guys are. And, me walking around 178, those welterweights are in the high 90s, 200 pounds. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Speaking of which, your teammate, Jorge Masvidal, suffered a tough loss on Saturday. What were your emotions when you saw that?
Man, I'm just he's such a pioneer of the sport, and he's helped me out a lot in my career. Just being around guys like him, guys like Robbie Lawler in the gym, training next to them, alongside them, helping with camps, them helping me. I just he's a good dude, man. And he's a hard worker. And I know he busted his ass and was in great shape for that one. But it just shows how good Kamaru Usman is, you know, and that anything could happen out there. I thought George is handling this like very few could, you know, very mature looking to take yourself out of the driver's seat like he did. I watched a clip of his interview with you and look at it as a fan and look at it as he knows how good Usman is because he knows how good he is. He's seen it all and done it all. And to get caught like that and set up like that, he can respect it. So that's powerful to see somebody in that mindset. So, you know, I'll see him in a few weeks and wish him the best, but he's taking it like a champ.
As far as your fight on July 10th is concerned, do you expect to see a different Conor? A lot has been made of the stance and all that. Like, do you think he's going to throw something completely different at you, or do you think he'll be?
And here we go again with the MMA show, right? Now we're going to see the motivated Conor. We're going to see the Conor who wasn't getting ready for a boxing match. We're going to see karate stance Conor. Maybe he'll grow his hair. Maybe he'll have a ponytail Conor. Who gives? It's a fight. I'm going to bust my ass, be prepared, and go in there and make things happen.
The only reason I ask that is that from a preparation standpoint, like would you watch a lot of film? And if so, like, would you throw out the last fight because he looked a little different, or are you, so I just talked to Rose and she was telling me how like she studied everything that Zhang does so intricately. So I was just curious, like from your preparation standpoint, how you viewed him.
As my career has progressed, I've spent less time overthinking fight footage, but I definitely do still watch a good bit and see tendencies, reactions to certain things, the way guys change levels to defend takedowns, the way guys throw counter shots, which Conor is very, very dangerous at. So I do look for things like that, but I'm not going to overwhelm myself with trying to break everything down and go crazy, because I used to do that and it would drive me nuts. It would keep me up at night, and I'm just not that guy anymore. I let my coaches break it down, and we'll get a good game plan together, and that's just it.
Will you spar leading up to this fight?
Yeah, I spar every camp.
Okay. Just as much as you did 10 years ago?
No. I used to spar, a couple of times a week, year round. Now I only do 5 weeks. I do 5 weeks at the end of camp. So the first 3 or 4 weeks of this training camp is going to be getting timing together, getting my strength and conditioning base underneath me, sharpening up my boxing, kickboxing, my jiu-jitsu, wrestling, just putting everything together. And then 5 weeks out from the fight, I'll start sparring.
And how many times a week will you spar?
I usually do twice a week.
Okay. By the way, I know you watched on Saturday when you saw the crowd and everything, and then you think about like the Vegas crowd and how they'll be on July 10th. Like, were you starting to get, I don't know, a little more hyped up? Like, what were you? I know you guys fought. You were the first ones essentially to fight in front of a crowd. Well, actually, Max Holloway and Cater were earlier in that week, but for a pay-per-view. But this is going to be completely different. So, were you thinking of how it will be on July 10th when you saw that crowd in Jacksonville?
Like, even for the weigh-in, seeing clips of the weigh-ins and seeing the crowd and the reaction, it just made me feel different. It brought that feeling back, like things might be getting back to normal. I'll always have those butterflies kind of going around fight time, and I can see that in the energy in the crowd and stuff. So it's going to be a different thing. But 25 minutes, man, that's what really matters.
I was talking to DC just on Monday. We were talking about your hot sauce. We would like a variety. We want like a mild, an extra spicy, a medium. Are we going to have more than just one? Is that in the works?
So we're kind of talking about doing a spicy version of it. This is very mild, it's in every meal kind of sauce. The first one we have out, but I might do an extra spicy version.
Okay. That would be nice. We are interested. You have at least 2 customers. Speaking of Mr. Cormier, recently inducted into the Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame. It seemed like he was trying to, take a little shot at you by letting the world know that he was attending said Hall of Fame. How did you feel about this?
I'm happy for him, man. Well, well earned, deserved. Congratulations, Daniel Cormier. If I would have went to high school, I probably would be there too. So that he had a handicap.
Right. What grade did you drop out of?
9th grade.
Wow. You didn't make it past 9th grade.
No.
That's incredible. And look at you now. You don't need no high school sports Hall of Fame. You got the streets Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Okay, well, that's one he'll have on you. But you got the key to the city, right? I don't think he got that.
No, he has a key to the city.
Oh, he did. Okay, well, all right.
We changed the locks, though. I got the new key.
Okay, fair enough. Now I'm really going to hear from him for saying that, for not knowing that. Dare I ask before I let you go, how do you expect it to play out on July 10th?
I'm going to stop Conor again. July 10th, I'm going to get my hand raised, and I'm going to finish Conor McGregor again.
Earlier, sooner than the second time?
I don't do all that. I don't do all that. I just show up ready to scrap, man.
Can't wait. Well, thank you, Dustin. I appreciate you coming out and not necessarily clarifying or, trying to walk back the tweet stuff, but you've always been one to kind of, tell it like it is, good or bad. And I don't think a lot of people would have done that, even though most people seem to be in your favor with the whole thing. And I'm glad that it all worked out for the community, that, kids are getting an opportunity to better their lives. So I think in the end, everyone wins, can put this behind us. And I look forward to what the buildup will be this time. I know you don't like that sort of thing, but all of us do. And it kind of makes for an exciting show come July 10th. So thank you. Thank you for handling it that way, and appreciate the time as always.
Thanks, Ariel. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.